Hello, people. This is Joe Bright, and I am your host for Poetry Song BFD, Battle for Dominance. And this morning, I'm thinking about so many things, and I thought, well, you know what? Let me just go online. It's been a long time since I made any kind of a recording or broadcast. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you some stuff that's just been, you know, on my mind, some things that I've written in the past. And I'm going to just start you off with what I like to call a passionate plea. This is a passionate plea for the sake of others. Because it seems when I pled for myself from the depths of my soul, as I was reaching out and up from the abyss of my life that was dragging me down, it felt as if no one could hear my silent screams for help. Screams so loud and panicked it tore my vocal cords into splinters and wrenched my throat until the pain felt like sandpaper against a cement wall, only no one could hear it. Until one day, as I was about to give up, give in, and claim that I was defeated, I was saved. And my savor didn't just happen by one day as I continued my rants and ravings, as I cursed and clawed, as drool drizzled down my chin, as my eyes were dry, parched of moisture, no longer shedding tears, but felt like steel pads, as I blinked away the day and cowered from the night. No, my Savior was there the entire time. On those days when I knew that I was going to have to make some one more devastating decision, but it's going to be the last, I swear I won't have to do this again decision. My Savior was right there. And when I was tearing to shreds the last vestiges of hope that I had because there wasn't enough nickels or dimes or pesos coming my way, and I just was going down that dark and dismal tunnel because I didn't care if there was a light at the end. And just when I was signing off and saying my goodbyes, I was through yelling and fighting, debating, procrastinating, and pontificating. There he was. And I said I wasn't going to plead anymore. I knew what I'd done. I wasn't proud of it. And if I had to do it again, well, I just have to cross that bridge, wouldn't I? But I know in the back of my mind, I was still crying out for help. I was still hoping on hope that help would come. And even though I'd committed myself to the inevitable, I'd set myself on a course of no return. But he was right there, all along. He was actually waiting for me to stop all the screaming, yelling, and confusion I was putting myself through. And when that happened, there he was. His hand was out, and his arms were around me, and I was gathered into them like a baby. And I cried the cleansing cry of the lost soul who just wanted somebody to listen. I realized that had I not stopped and taken stock of myself, my life, my present, what I was about to embark upon, I would never have heard him. So I make this passionate plea to you. You who seem to believe that there is no way out, no one person who will come to your aid, hold your hand, see you through, stand by your side, give you a shoulder to cry on, listen when you're down, celebrate with you when all is well, be in the midst, or just be quiet and let you know that there's just where you want them to be when you need assurance. I have a Savior. He wants to be yours too. Yeah, see, I guess that's my good morning. It's my passionate plea for all of you. Yeah, we all need a savior, especially in this country. But I'm not going to get political. I'm just going to let y'all hear some more of my poetry. And right now, I think you need to know I am affected. I am affected by your smile, witty and thoughtful, deceiving and beguiling, amorous and suspicious, your impressive giving nature that is you. I am affected by your posture, sitting up straight, back pressed firmly against the cushion, eyes forward, listening intently, hanging on my every word, poised for the confrontation destined to come. I am affected by your thoughts, summations and suppositions wound tightly together by a single strand of perception, by your tomes on your shelves, stacked neatly, read thoroughly. I am affected by your perceptions, the way you process information and extricate simplistic meaning from an enigma that is merely life. I am deeply affected by you, what you are, what you will be, what you have become. Yeah, see, that's my way of telling you I care. I do. But I'm a mom too, so sometimes I have to take the long, hard road and I have to get a little deep. But, that's just who I am. Who are you? And don't you want to be impressed by the people that are around you? Don't you want to be impressed by the people that love you? But most importantly, don't you want to be impressed by yourself? That's what this is called. Don't you want to be impressed? Don't you want to be impressed? I want to be impressed. When you take a look at the day, at the end of the day, after you turn off the lights, just before you close your eyes, just before you scoot down underneath the sheets and find that perfect spot for your head and your pillow, don't you want to be impressed? I want to be impressed. When you step out on faith and take that leap into the unknown, when you know that rejection is far more likely than acceptance. I mean, after you've put yourself on a tightrope of hope and you just have a string of support, but you persevere in the face of adversity, don't you want to be impressed? I want to be impressed. When the right thing to do was not the popular thing to do. When you want to do the popular thing, but it's not the wrong thing. I mean, it's the wrong thing, but it's not the wrong thing. And you know it's the wrong thing, but it's the thing that will make you popular. Don't you want to be impressed? I want to be impressed. When you wake up tomorrow and yesterday wasn't as bad as you thought it was, and that if you can make it through today doing what you're supposed to do, only doing it better than yesterday because you weren't too sure of yesterday, but today is looking pretty good. And if you can get through today after yesterday, tomorrow will be a breeze. Don't you want to be impressed? I know I want to be impressed. And that's what I do every morning. I try to impress myself. I'm Johanna Bright, and this is Poetry Song, BFD, Battle for Dominance. You can follow me and listen to more of my recordings of Poetry Song, BFD, on my website at www.mamayaya.wixsite.com/website. That's www.mommaya dot wix wixsite.com/website. I also have a my site too as well. Wixsite is a great place to go to. I'm going to give them a little pub because if it wasn't for uh, websites like Wixsite that give people like me who are budding and trying to get their voices out there to be heard, especially as a poet and an author. It's a really struggling community of people. And I get to take my website all the way and do whatever I want with it. So go on, look at it. You can see some of my videos, some of my the TV shows that I've done. You can read my poetry. You can read my short stories. You can see a couple of the gifts. I manage the website myself. I'm kind of proud of it, but it's my way of sharing who I am. And if you're interested in anything, my information is right there on the website. You can like, share, comment, leave some information. Let me know what you think. And I will take in ads if you really like to be part of that journey that I'm on. Right now, I'm going to play you something we all think about because it's early in the morning. It's Wednesday, June the 15th. And here's a question we all ask ourselves from time to time. Was it really all going so well? Was it really going all so well? You were finally doing all those things that you thought you wanted to do. The mistress or master of your destiny. No one, no one had control over your day. It was planned out to your specifications, desires, goals. Nothing happened that you didn't know about in your life. You made your own schedule, set, planned, and wrote the script of your day. Then you got sucker punched into thinking that you had a place in this world. You foolhardily believed that this was a race you could win, and that you had a dog in this fight, your 2 proverbial cents to put in and make a difference. You weren't alone. Even though you completely forgot that you didn't want anything to do with the fight, because the fight, the battle, the war wasn't for people like you. People who believe that if you play fair, play your cards right, don't cheat, be honest, never malign another person, step on someone else's throat to get ahead, or push aside the ideas, conceptions, and hard work of another to get ahead, that if you respect the boundaries of another, that you would do well. But that's not true. This world isn't for you to conquer or to claim. It already has its victors here. And they aren't about to give up the throne without a fight. They've claimed what they know are the best parts of this world, and they are not about to relinquish that power to you or me or anyone else. They have been grooming and molding and shaping their children for decades so they can hand that power and wealth over to them. And if I or you want a piece of that power or wealth, don't think it's going to be a fair fight. Because the powers that be have trained their heirs on how to wield, manipulate, and lord over others that power and wealth, so that one day all that power, wealth, that big dog in the fight, can be theirs. And their children have been fighting amongst themselves for all that power, all that wealth. Their servants, even the lowest of their ranks, have been salivating about that power, that wealth. Their servants, the undeserved privileged, who open and lock their doors, and stand behind them in public, looking out for their well-being. Their servants who send their hard-earned money to their families, open 401ks and money market accounts so they can send their children to schools where the tuition is higher than your yearly salary. Their servants who make sure their friends get the best jobs, even at the lowest levels, because they hear privileged conversations. And their friends act like they're privileged because they were the first to get a job when no one else could. And they all become beholden to the privileged few, unaware that they're being used and stepped on. They don't really see that they're no better off than those of us who don't know the privileged few. They just get to hang around them sometimes. They don't have a dog in the fight either. The rest who have been used and misused, who have been put out and stepped on, made to feel less than themselves. Especially after we've all spent our entire lives reminding ourselves daily that we are somebody. Somebody with worth. Somebody with intelligence and sophistication. Somebody with the ability to stand up for ourselves and to stand with others for a righteous cause. We just want a change of power to hands we think we can trust. But sometimes it's the same set of hands with a different label. And the same people in power still manage to make you feel like if you just hang in there, one day you too can have a dog in this fight. If you want to. I'm at a point where I question my ability to read people. Yeah, I know I said I could, but people change. The ones that come near seem like the ones I would trust. The ones who said they had my back, I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them. I'm at a point where I question my ability to discern the right from the wrong. And before, yeah, it was easy because we were young. Everyone had the same ideals. We were all in the same fight, had the same battles and strategies. The outcome was what we all wanted. But now the war is different. It's the same war with the same soldiers fighting on the same front, and some have the same tattered uniforms, and they chant the same battle cry. And I attend the same rallies with the same people. But it's different now. It's too many skirmishes, too many deaths, too many walking wounded who remember when we stood up for them in the fray, in the heat of the battle, when all seemed lost, and they needed someone to reach out and pull them out of the ditch and cover them with their bodies while the bullets flew overhead, and all they knew was there was noise and somehow it's not affecting them, because someone covered them with their blood, and they emerged victorious, and they're different now. And I'm different now. But the war rages on, and the battles are held on the field of death, and the bodies pile up in numbers staggering, sublime. And we stop counting them because we have to soldier on until the war is won. We're all different now. There are times when I want to check out, and it seems like there's no end to the war. There are no more victories. The soldiers are tired, wearied, and worn. The bullets still fly. The death toll still rises. Not as much as you would think anymore. And the enemy, he doesn't care. And I don't know who he is anymore.
Wow. See, um, I amaze myself sometimes with the things that I write. I forgot when I wrote that. Um, I write from a very passionate part of me that lives deep down inside of me, and when I let that out on paper, I am always surprised at what I put down on paper. I'm Johanna Bright of Poetry Song, BFD, Battle for Dominance, and you are listening to me this morning because I just feel like, you know what? It's been a while. I live a busy life. I am not going to lie. I live such a busy life. I'm a mother. I have three lovely little granddaughters. They're some tiny little things, and they drive me up the wall. And even though I'm not old enough to be driven up the wall that fast, that far, trust me, there's a lot little girls can do to make you crazy. But I love them to death, so please don't get me wrong. And, Aria and Lily and Ruby, if y'all hear this, trust me, Yaya doesn't mean that she doesn't like you. She just mean y'all drive her crazy. But then kids tend to do that. Um, Switching gears, because, I get caught up. I can get real caught up real fast. I'm switching gears. I wanted you all to hear just some stuff that I wrote a little while back. This one I like to call it just hanging out. Can y'all hear it? Oh, y'all probably can't hear it. You know what? I need to go ahead and fix this. Um, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you think that you're doing something, and you're not. You're not. You're not. You're not doing anything. I can hear it, but you all can't hear it. That's my bad. So what I'm gonna do is I am just gonna have to add it, aren't I? I'm gonna have to add it to the queue later on. Um, but right now, listen to this one. I kind of like this one. This was really nice. It's called Love Song.
He played the most romantic songs my ears ever heard. I mean, they stirred in me emotions I didn't know I had. Or maybe I just hadn't felt them in a long while. Every word of every song resonated in me an emotion that drew me closer to him. And I just knew that by the time he played that final crescendo of his love's melody, that all he would have to do was rise from his seat, hold out his hand to mine, and draw me close to him. Where all I had to do was inhale his scent, and it wouldn't matter if it was brute or cool water. By the time he plays that final love song, I would be his. The melodies of love and affection, the never ending choruses of how much his desire for me is only overshadowed by how much he admired how I handled myself, my life, how I was the only woman who made him want to be a better man, not just for himself, but for me too, and all that I am. And that one phrase moved me to my soul. The rhythms of the music make my body sway back and forth and side to side. And if I let myself go, I can just feel him at the very edges of my body, using his fingers to skim and manipulate the peripheral of my skin and the trim and the rim of my villi. I start to know as my imagination moves closer to the reality of us, what love will be like with him. His music sends me down a rabbit trail of romance, and I can see what love will be with him and me and the music, and then the songs are over, my eyes are open, and I'm just playing solitaire, and the DJ is moving to the commercial break. Today, my thoughts drift in and out of focus because my body wants what my heart doesn't. See, I thought that once I decided to be a good, true, and faithful partner, that my life would fall into place. But it's been a struggle sometimes just to keep it real. And is it enough to know who I am, embrace the truth, see what happens? It's been a minute, and it's all been truth. And I'm tired of being a friend because it's been a long time. And we've been through some things together that have made me want to go my own way. But it was a decision I made to stay with through all the horrific times, as well as the splendid ones. And like it or not, I do it. But lately, it feels fake. I'm tired of fake. Fake takes a lot of energy. I want to spend my energy somewhere else. My desire is for him, who he is, not what he was. That's what drove us apart. But we all have to grow at some point, whether in a better direction of enlightenment or darkness. It's all growth. Some to weeds, some to roses, all to the sky. I just love you. I want to be just like you when I grow up. When I get past and over this life I'm living right now, when I find a way to get from under all these failure notices from beyond, after I finish letting myself down and picking myself up and doing it again, I want to be just like you when I get older. And it might be a minute because I'm still trying to get over myself. When I let myself down, I beat myself up. When I do a good thing, I congratulate myself before I give thanks. And when I have a hard time understanding why things won't turn out the way I want them to, I blame everyone but me. I just love you. You never get angry when I snap at you when I'm wrong. You just look at me with compassion and give me my space. You always try to see what is good and right and wonderful and how I can always do better if I just try harder. You try to give me good books to read, music to listen to, places of solitude or venues where friends are. When I feel defeated and I try to give up, I swear I just love you. How many times have I followed my own bad advice? How many times have I thrown caution to the wind and have it slap me in the face? How many times do I have to wake up and regret the day before? How many times do I have to look another mundane day in the face to the end? I just love you because of your passion, drive, eagerness to step out every day and try something different. Because you do more than just persevere from the day before with a look of determination on your face. I want to be just like you when I grow up. But right now, I'm a little too naive, too green, too wet behind the ears. I don't get the subtle nuances in grown up conversations because I haven't lived yet. So I'm just going to have to put you on my nightstand and next to my mirror or my dresser. I'll watch you every day as I move and grow, and I'll try to keep pace day to day. And maybe, just maybe, one day I could be just like you. The me I'm going to be one day.
Well, I hope y'all like that. I like to consider myself a poet for all people. You know, I write a little bit of everything. I write for children, for women, for men, politics, comedy, movies. My poetry is written from wherever I am at the moment. Sometimes it might not be at the moment. It might be something that I saw like 2 or 3 weeks, months ago, and or it might be a simple phrase that somebody says, and it'll trigger an emotion or a thought. And if I write it down real fast and then get back to it later, I'm actually able to, like put it all out there on paper. I'm a pen and paper girl. I mean, I love my technology. Do not get me wrong. I am the technological queen. I love my computer. I love my tablet. I love my cell phone. I love my headphones. um, I like to know how technology works and plays. But when it comes to my writing, it's got to be a pen and it has to be a piece of paper and I write until my hands swell up. I mean, sometimes I write until I literally have blisters on my fingers. That's just who I am. Back in the day, I used to type on my keyboard on my processor, and it was okay, but those things run out of ink, and that's probably why they're defunct now. Anyway, right now, I want you all to hear this, and then you'll say, yeah, that's me too. Little muscle ache, right?
There was a time when I could wake up in the morning, jump out of the bed, and hit the ground running at the speed of love. I was Superwoman. I woke up the kids, made breakfast, checked homework, answered all kinds of crazy questions, made important calls to the landlord, the plumber, the teacher, the mayor's office, mama, girlfriends, enemies, fellow mamas like me. I fixed lunches, read my Bible, checked kids for contraband, and the calendar to see who was staying home and why. Daily events that could put corporate America to shame. I showered, dressed, and got to work myself all before 8:30 a.m. I put in a full day of yes, sir, and no, ma'am. And when that was over, I picked up the kids from school, ran a few errands on the way home. And when I got home, I started dinner, handed out snacks, checked backpacks again, went over homework and extra school activities coming up, settled debates, arguments, and fights, add in husband and in laws, aunties, uncles, and cousins. I hung out with my friends and made myself available for after school volunteering, chaperoning, and Sunday workouts. I lived for the late night Fridays. That was the highlight of my social calendar. Going to my living room after a long week of responsibility and kicking back on the couch with a glass of whatever the money could afford that week and just breathing. Just to highlight what Superwoman has done. Today, I look back and I'm amazed I didn't crack under the pressure. I realize now it was the pressure that kept me going. The rhythm of the day that kept my feet moving, kept me looking forward to the next and the day after that and after that. Today the kids are grown and the pressure's down. My days are my own, and if I choose to, I turn the pressure up or down at my leisure. My leisure. My time to choose to do whatever it is that makes me smile, my heart beat, my feet move, my feet. They don't move like they did back then. I don't have a laundry list of life's events to live by that dictate the rhythm of my day. That was then, and I loved it, relished it, looked forward to it. I chose out of it the things that made me laugh, smile, and cry. No, my children aren't babies anymore, but they're still my children. And they have children all their own. And they move to that rhythm I miss sometimes. Sometimes. It makes me think I could go back and do it all again. But I wake up in the morning and I don't have that same spring. I don't have those same summers. I don't mind if I'm going into the fall of my life. I have a rhythm now, and I wouldn't change the beat of it for anything. And I can choose which beat suits me best any given day. And that makes me happy.
And isn't happiness what it's all about anyway? It is for me. Um, and I think that's a very appropriate one for me. I am in the fall. No, not necessarily. I do wax poetic and quite eloquent at times, but that's how we have to take ourselves. Kids today, they I think they have a leisure life. They don't realize how technology has helped them to really sit back and enjoy being young. When we were younger, when I was in my 20s and when I was in my 30s, and you talking about hitting the ground running. That one muscle ache, it definitely describes what it was like. Cause I wasn't a teenage mom. I was out of high school, a year out of high school, but I was still young. Um, I don't miss anything that might have missed. You know what I mean? I don't miss any of the things that I would have done had I not been a mother. Because I, quite frankly, do really enjoy and enjoyed being a mom. So, but this is just a little reminiscent that I want y'all to hear about right now. Because, that's what we do sometimes when we don't have anything else to do. The day is over with. And we just like to do this one little thing. Not, you don't have to go outside past your front door to do it. And I know a lot of us, especially those of us, and I'm an ex-Chicago person, you know. I used to live, I was born and raised in Chicago. But some of us, we really miss this. And I know one day we'll all get back to doing that. You know, just hanging out.
There was a time when we could not wait to start the day. Man, I would wake up excited and refreshed, and sometimes hungover, but always with memories from the day before that had to be shared and recaptured and relived in conversation and through socialization of the next day. We used to just get dressed because we knew we were going to see each other later. Remember that time not too long ago? That day when we all got together and sat on the stoop or stairs or the porch because we finally finished our chores or dinner was done or the kids were watching their evening TV shows. And the evening breeze felt like silk and cool water on our skin. The city lights twinkled all around us as they did, and it hid the dirt and the debris of the day. All the skid marks on the street became iridescent in the early evening. The shadows weren't so frightening back then because the lamplight from all the living room windows and the music from the first floor apartment radio station was always playing our favorite songs. And it created a backdrop for the frivolous conversation that was about to take place. Somebody always brought something to share, some leftover Kool-Aid, chicken, whatever. It was just a friend offering anyway. Funny, for the first 5 minutes, it was always quiet, just silence. Then one of us would say something. Next thing you know, we were laughing and choking back tears and holding our sides over the not so comical when it happened day. And it felt like we could hang out there all night long. But I know we didn't. We finished hanging out around, 10 or 11 p.m. Girl, I will see you tomorrow. I gotta put these kids in bed. It's so late. They might be on summer vacation, but we're not. Another laugh and it was over. That last breath of cool evening air. No more wine, no more laughing, camaraderie, a couple of hugs, and back to our own separate lives where we'd make more memories and share more laughs. But none like that.
Yeah, I have to admit, I do. I have to admit, I miss those days. There, when my babies was little, and they got out of school, and me and my girls, shoot, we would grab some beer, and sit on the steps and just hang out. I don't know if the kids enjoyed their summertime when they had it more than I did. I mean, 'cause it was always so busy, when you were children. But me and the ladies, I remember them, Shan, Regina, Valerie, Janita, ooh, honey, and Desharma. It was always a wild one in the bunch, wasn't it? But we would just kind of hang out at the end of the day, man, and just let the breeze hit us. It was nice. Kind of missed that much. 'Cause we all moved away from each other and our kids got grown. We check out each other on Facebook every now and then, but you know what? Life moves on. And sometimes you just have to move along with it. It's not the same, but it's still nice. I do. I like it. So, how about this? I'm going to give y'all this one. It's called Remember Me.
How long before you forget me when I'm gone? Just yesterday, we were having a conversation about a mundane subject. We were laughing and making fun of our idiocy. You gave me the last year of dessert because you knew how much I love chocolate but can't eat it. Our arguments go completely over the top. I mean, we used more curse words and screamed at the top of our lungs. We would just go at it. We got on each other's nerves on a regular basis. But that's okay. At least we were honest with each other. I mean, we hugged it out every time we saw each other, right? And when it's all said and done, you're the only person I know who truly loves me. Sometimes we have to take a break from each other because we just see too much of each other. So we hang out with our B group. And we don't say that to them. That's just between us. Because we love them too. But you and me, we could hang out forever, talking about whatever comes in our heads and not even think about the rest of the world And that might not be too good of a thing, but it is what it is. Now, time and life has caught up with us and we have to part. I know we'll miss each other and cherish those memories we have in common. I know life goes on, but I want you to be happy and strong. At the same time, I don't want you to ever forget me. I don't want to be selfish because love can be selfish, cruel, and unkind. We know that, so please just keep our memories close in your heart. Don't let them hurt you because I can never really do that to you. And if our memories won't let you move on, then I'm not being fair. And I want you to always be happy with our memories. Think on them and smile. Share them, laugh, and be angry. And if I haven't apologized to you for any reason, please know that I do now. And if it's too late, then I'll just have to take that as well. Just don't forget me. Remember me when I'm gone.
If it were possible, I would make every day perfect for you. You wouldn't worry about or want anything. You wouldn't think twice about speaking your mind. You wouldn't stop and check your door or windows to see if they were locked. Or that awkward moment when you realize that you left something important behind. You want to go back for it, but you think it'll be gone and lost and found wouldn't have it. Those thoughts would never enter your mind. If it were possible, I would make every day perfect for you. There would be no tickle in the back of your throat the day after you came in from the cold, wet without a jacket or scarf. I would feed you food fit for the consumption of kings and queens, made with hands of love just for you. If it were possible, I would make every day perfect for you, while the rest of the world spins in chaos and agony, never knowing from one day to the next what tomorrow will bring. Our every day will begin with my arms embracing you and my smile greeting your eyes with desire only fulfilled in you, knowing that you were happy and content. But please, make no mistake. In no way will I be your doormat. If by any chance you come to the conclusion or begin to believe that just because I seem to be at your beck and call, and it pleases me to know that there are no contentions in your day, and that if there were, I would stop all that there is and more from heaven and earth to bring your world that I built, yes, created, back into perfect harmony, that I would not hesitate to leave you in the hell you prefer over the love I offer. If it were possible, I would make every day perfect for you. If it were possible. Now, why is it whenever you and I talk, it always comes back to why I don't drive, why I don't have a car, when am I going to get my license? It's gotten so whenever I know I'm going to see you, I have to brace myself, tell myself, just change the subject. There was a time when I thought, I better get my license, I need a car. I saw my friends and family getting their licenses and buying cars. I saw them with their new license plates and stickers. I watched them grab their keys and head out the door, start their engines, and drive off into the distance. Free, independent. They didn't have to answer to anyone. Time progressed as time does, and I watched them buy their second car and more license plates and stickers and paying for parking and car washes and gas, insurance, tolls, cigarettes, beer, music, speakers, rims, engines, brake pads, carburetors, and on and on and on. I saw the frustration in your faces when anyone cut you off on the expressway, when the green light turned red before you made it through the intersection, the ticket you got in the mail because the traffic camera said you made an illegal turn. How absolutely irate you became when you had to pay that speeding ticket. I saw you when you found out your dear friend was hit by a car because the driver was drunk, and how you took the keys from a friend because you just weren't going to be responsible for someone else's death. Every time you and I get together, you always want to know, when am I going to become a licensed driver? And I think, as long as I have two working feet, a bus pass, and friends who don't mind sharing a ride for some gas money, girl, never, if I can help it.
And that is my current situation. Still not going to drive. Mm-mm. You know, I was in the car with my husband just a couple of weeks ago. We were driving someplace, and it took us a couple hours to get there. And I came across, being the passenger, you know, drivers don't really see much. I saw three horrendous traffic accidents. Yeah, they do clog up traffic and people gawk at them. But when you don't drive and you see stuff like that all the time, and you got friends asking you why you don't have a license, I often wonder, do they hate me? Because that's the thing that goes through my mind. Anyway, I'm going to read from my book, My Resume, written by me, Johanna Bright, your hostess for Poetry Song, Battle for Dominance, Battle for Dominance, BFD. Poetry Song, BFD. Okay, the name of this book, this poem I'm reading, is called Exposed. It's from my book, My Resume, that you can purchase on Amazon.com. My Resume by Johanna Bright. And the name of this poem is called Exposed. It's on page 113 of My Resume. Flipping through the day's paper, senator found guilty, expose to follow. Baby aborted by none, found dead and well. Mother and son reunite after 30 years. Man imprisoned and home by own children, an act of love. Calling the talk show, exposing everything you did to me, that I did to you, what we did to each other. Lying naked in bed, exposed from the waist up, cover up. Some things even I can't watch. But you love me, right? That feeling of right and wrong, good and bad, love and hate, make up. Arguing the point, exposing myself to your singularity. Teenager charged in fatal shooting of old woman. Woman denies herself. Baby awaits transplant. Bride burns and crash on wedding day. Priest released from prison. Parents search for missing child. Drinking cold coffee, eating stale toast, arguing the point, exposing myself to your singularity. But you love me, right? That's from my book, My Resume, from the mind of a housebound housewife. Johanna Bright, that's me. I'm your host for Poetry Song, and I'm near the very end of my broadcast today. Y'all have a wonderful day. It's finally hot, maybe a little too hot. I think we could use a little water. There's some rain coming. It don't have to be a lot, but just enough to cool things off, but not too much. I particularly like it when it's hot. I'm that person. When I'm wishing for warm weather in the wintertime, I really do mean warm weather in the wintertime. Because I love to be in the sun. And I hope you all enjoy y'all day out in the sun. It's Wednesday. It's June the 14th. Wow. Okay. The month is getting away from us, people. Y'all get out there and enjoy it. Try not to think about all the horrible stuff going on in the country right now. Just try to have a good day. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, whether we involved with it or not. That's pretty much how I've been looking at stuff. Kind of makes my day go by better. Anyway, I'm Joe Bright. This is Poetry Song. Download the app or Spreaker.com. Listen to my broadcast and have a blessed day. I'm going to take y'all out with a little something that I wrote called I Am Affected.
I am affected by your smile, witty and thoughtful, deceiving and beguiling, amorous and suspicious, your impressive giving nature that is you. I am affected by your posture, sitting up straight, back pressed firmly against the cushion, eyes forward, listening intently, hanging on my every word, poised for the confrontation destined to come. I am affected by your thoughts, summations and suppositions wound tightly together by a single strand of perception, by your tomes on your shelves, stacked neatly, read thoroughly. I am affected by your perceptions, the way you process information and extricate simplistic meaning from an enigma that is merely life. I am deeply affected by you, what you are, what you will be, what you have become.